Happy Eid to everybody. If you can hear me and you can see what Shalini and me, please type something in the chat box so that we know.
Eid Mubarak, everyone. So, Priggya, how are you doing? How was your day?
I am doing very well. I'm enjoying sweets since morning because since morning everybody is like, okay, happy Eid. All of all of the of our Muslim staff and everything, we celebrate Eid together, and it's like exchange of gifts and sweets and everything. So I think it's a happy moment.
It is. It is. We have done iftar ka khana almost every other day this year, this Ramzan, and one round of Eid khana is already done. I'm decked up for a second round after this.
Wow, I'm so happy to see you all decked up, dressed up for Eid. So, Shalini, what are we discussing today?
Yeah, I think since this is Innovators Corner, I think we should start with talking about the misconceptions innovators have. So we'll start with you first, since you're always playing the interviewer. So this time I'm going to play the interviewer. So tell me three misconceptions innovators have.
So, according to me, so it's like a kind of a daily practice we do with innovators, and we keep getting calls, and we keep answering them. So I'll answer you from the perspective what I get questions from the clients. So first and foremost is people come to us with some business method, and they'll say we want to patent it, which is not exactly a technological advancement but is a business method. So I want to tell inventors that business methods are not patentable, but there has to be some technological advancement. There is some advancement in the technology that you are developing, and only on that we can get a patent. So that is the first one.
Wait,
The
can I
second,
interrupt you here for a second?
sure,
I'm
definitely.
just going to put in my question here and then you can take it later. But aren't business methods patentable in the US?
Okay, so we'll discuss that later
Okay.
on because that is an interesting concept.
Okay.
Okay, so first I'll quickly complete all three. So first is we have to have a technological advancement, and then we have like for me, I think many people they come to us thinking patent is the only IP right they can have in their products, but there are know-how, there are trade secrets, there are copyrights, there are confidentiality agreements, undisclosed information, and there are so many other aspects by which we can protect their product. So I think patent is not the only way, though it is one of the most important IP. And the third one is, I think a lot of them come with a misconception that if it is patentable if someone has filed a patent in US, I can obviously file the patent in India. If they have got the patent, I can also get a patent. So I think this is a major one, and we have to come up to the answer that we need novelty, we need inventive step. Unless we have that, we cannot patent. So the reason that someone has got a patent in US is the reason we cannot get it in India. Probably that those three are mine.
Okay. Interesting. So, are you going to tackle my business method question now or later?
Yeah, okay. So let's come to business method. So according to US, we say abstract ideas are not patentable. Like they have specifically kept the term abstract idea, and there
Right.
have been tussle between many of the case laws, like what is abstract idea, what is not abstract idea. So they have a huge list of examples, like what can be considered as an abstract idea and what cannot be considered as an abstract idea. So somewhere I think, like, that's my personal opinion, I think there has to be some technology involved, even if it is a business method, though it is a bit lenient as compared to other jurisdictions. And there could be a possibility that business method patents are allowable, but technical advancement still has to be there. I think that is the base of the patent. So that has to be there. And what's your take on that?
What's my take on that? Uh, Look, I think that, as you rightly said, so the whole idea of patent is to protect innovation, is to protect some kind of improvement over existing technology. So merely a method of doing business which lacks any kind of novelty or any, like you said, technical advancement, then that, to grant a patent to that becomes unfair to all the other patents, to all the other innovations.
Yeah.
So yes, it has to be tied to a hardware, to some kind of machine, something that is doing something in addition to the business method.
Yeah.
Otherwise, how Amazon's one click thing got granted, and everyone is scratching their head. "Ki, what happened here?" So we should not fall into that trap again.
Yeah, and Shalini, one of the interesting case law what I remember is, remember when that Apple versus Samsung happened, and there was a news, a truck full of coins. Like Samsung has sent a truck full of coins in response to whatever damages they had to give it to
Right.
give to Apple. So I think interesting things also happen in this domain.
Yeah. My pet peeves, I know you haven't asked me, but I have to share them here,
Yes,
is
yes, yes, definitely.
is obviousness
Yeah.
that if pure voice, some place, for example, I am dealing with a case right now where someone says that a particular quality of coal, let's say, is being used here, and I have an inventor argue, someone who's well versed in the field, but arguing, saying that why can't a substitute for coal be used, and then I patent the same process again. But what I'm trying to say is that if you, at your level as an innovator, you're obviously steeped into this technology, and you know that the common substitute for coal is X, then anyone else is going to know that, anyone else who is well versed in the art is also going to know. So this obviousness thing is something that needs to be drilled into. And the second pet peeve I have is a global patent.
Yes, I can have a global patent, Shalini. Why do you restrict me to have a patent in one country? Why do you want me to file patent application in multiple countries?
Because I'm the patent police. No, seriously though, just like how civil laws and criminal laws differ from country to country, patent laws differ from country to country. So you have to go to each country. Of course, PCT and Paris Convention makes it easier to have a portal where you can do your basic initial filings and all at the same time. But global patents are not allowed. Patent is a very territorial right. And I
Yeah.
think that's the first thing we learn, right, when we study
Yes,
patent
yes,
law.
yes,
We
definitely.
don't realize why they're drilling it so much into us. Now,
I know. I remember our college days, and patent is a territorial right. Then why do we have PCT? Why do we have WIPO? What do they do? Don't they grant global patents?
so no global patents.
So, Shalini, one question here. Like, if an inventor comes to you and you make him understand that these are not global patents, and you have to file a PCT application, then you have to file application in multiple countries. Do you often get this question, like, if you are making me file an international application, then why do I have to file in multiple countries?
Yes, yes. So what I do is I have a detailed document which explains all these steps of PCT filing and the flow chart for patent process. It's a very roughly drawn patent flow chart, but it answers the initial questions. And after that, if they still have questions, we do have follow up discussions. But I think if you put it in a flowchart form, it's easier to grasp. Okay, we are at this level now. This stage is next. This stage is next. Then this. Then this. So with pathways, that if I don't want PCT, then I go straight here. If I want PCT, if I want Paris Convention, and so on. So I think that picture helps to clarify a lot of questions.
Yeah. I think that, and also on that WIPO website, we have that flow chart, which is also self-explanatory. It's like a tree with branches. That okay, this is one, and then it goes to different others.
Yes, and especially because it has all the timelines and all on it, so
Yes,
it's a
yes.
very useful resource.
Yeah, definitely. And so, what is the third one?
Oh, third one. I think you took my novelty one. Uh, but also, novelty can be found in very interesting places, and we often discount those. So, for
Hmm.
example, your iPad thing was iPad with the circular home button was from a Star Trek episode.
Yeah.
And Nike had patented their automatic lacing up system in Back to the Future movie, Back to the Future 2, I think. So there is this snapshot where his shoes automatically lace up. So Nike had patented it then, even though they came up with the actual document much later, actual product much later. So this novelty thing where you have to, if you think you get inspiration from somewhere, you have to make sure that it is not already in public domain, even if it is in a Donald Duck comic book.
Yeah.
I had read this interesting case where this USPTO examiner had almost decided that he wants to grant a patent for some sort of an anchor. And he brings the file home, and his son or daughter says, "Hey, this is in my comic book." And Donald Duck's nephew, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, the three little ducks. So there was a comic book where they were using a similar anchor, and this patent application covered the same invention. So he had to
Wow.
refuse it based on the comic book.
Wow, wow. That's so interesting. I know sometimes what happens is people see something in magazines and they're not sure whether that product exists or not, but they are sure that okay, I've seen this in magazine, but I can build up this product. But yeah, as you said, magazine, newspaper articles, blogs, everything can act as a prior art for them, and then probably we have to make them aware that okay, this is a prior art, we really need some small step which is not there anywhere in the world. I think one step is also enough if
Correct.
it is not there anywhere in the world.
Right. But as a patent, as when we are conducting a prior art search, how do we know about comic books and blogs and so on?
How do
Especially,
you do that?
how do we do that? No, that's what I'm asking you, because I see this thing. Every year there is this little infographic released called
Yeah.
the Internet Minute, and it
Yeah.
tells you how much data is being exchanged over the internet in a single minute. So 2021 statistics just blow my mind. Every year the statistics comes out and blows my mind, because where am I going to search through? Now multiply that by how many ever minutes we have
I
in a
know.
year and past so many years. Where am I going? It's two exobyte, 1 exobyte of data is generated every 2 days.
Wow,
That's
awesome.
as much data from the beginning of time. That's from the Big Bang Theory till the year 2006. That much data every 2 days. So we are submerged, and I think it's a very tough time for innovators, because they
I
have to deal with so much data.
I so agree with you, and it's tough time for I think patent searchers as well because we have so many tools for searching. Still, we have problems when we get applications from Korea, from China, because translating those applications it's not easy, and it's not we have translators. It's not that we do not have translators, but you also know that when we read the translated application done by an AI, it's so difficult to comprehend exact key novelty from there.
Right,
And
absolutely.
then there is no limit. Even YouTube videos can act as a prior art, so I don't think there is any limit left. And that's why I think we have disclaimers at the end of our search reports, because it's necessary to give that there could be some prior arts that we may have missed out, and it's completely unintentional. We try to do our best and give you the best prior art
Right,
possible according
absolutely.
to us and the closest one available. But because the data is so huge, I think that problem will be there forever.
Yeah. And I think it's just going to multiply by the day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, Shalini, when you just another question, like when you do a search, do you tell clients that you'll okay, because the data is so much, we'll charge this much for a 10-hour search, we'll charge this much for a 20-hour search, or how do you comprehend that how much time will the search be, uh, will a search take? Because it can take any number of time, and I can just sit and keep searching for prior arts, and there is no end to it.
Right.
So do you analyze it, or how do you do that?
No, I what I do is I have a flat rate for searching.
Hmm.
But having said that, I don't jump into an in-depth. I do like a you remember pilot when
Yeah,
you're doing
yeah.
titration, you find a rough range where something is going to hit. So using the keyword, a very rough search, and then I provide give a rough draft of that to the client, and I tell him to the one he picks
Hmm.
narrows it down for me. So I cut down the work that way because going on a
Wow.
wild goose chase, and I'm looking through pages and pages of different countries makes no sense. So I ask them to. There's quite a bit of interaction and back and forth,
Yeah,
and it's
same.
a
So
dynamic.
yeah. So same what I generally do is like we have a practice of probably dividing an invention into certain features and focusing on those features while performing a search, because any patent
Yes,
application that can be divided in a number of features which are important, which a client think is novel and which we also think could be novel, because there are for example a product has 50
yeah,
features, only 5 of the features could be there which can fall
novel,
into the space of novelty or inventive step. So I think we what
right,
we generally do is we segregate the invention into features, and then just try to search the features and map the features and then discuss with the client. And also I think it's very important to confirm
yeah.
features with the client once, so that they and us are on the
Yes.
same page.
Do I break it down into features, and
Yeah.
then there's a mapping and a chart where there's features versus. But having said that, it's a progress. So
Yeah.
until and unless the client has decided, okay, this is it, this is the prior, I'm satisfied with the search. Usually it take and a bit of back and forth, but I'd rather err on the side of
Yeah.
caution.
Definitely. I think that is the best strategy that we can follow. Yeah. So I think yeah, it has been
So
a good.
Priya,
Yes, Shalini.
I just want to give a shout out to Jason who's watching. Jason has
Yeah.
made is one of my friends, and very prolific guy. Very he's a go getter. Like
Wow.
he came to me with an idea. He type. He explained to me in detail, and he guided me exactly. I mean, it was like he held my hand and led me through the invention. And not only that, he
Wow.
got a trademark. He started marketing it, and he was marketing his product. So I'm very proud of
Wow.
the way he handled it. He's a true innovator.
Wow, awesome. So hi Jason, absolutely amazing to hear your story. And we also have Mohit with us. Mohit has been my support throughout. He works for an organization called ICANN, which makes product for blind people. So
Okay.
so it's a very interesting space in which he works. So shout out for Jason and Mohit. Thank you for watching.
Go
And
ahead.
yes, Shalini. So now
I
should we
said hi, Mohit.
conclude or yeah. Yes.
So this was a fantastic session.
Yeah, and we'll do this every week. So make sure you are here with all your IP queries, and I and Shalini are ready to answer anything and everything. And we'll just keep discussing IP every week. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. Take care.
Have a good evening. I'm off to my